Hello and welcome to my piece of the internet. My name is Pam and you've wandered into Hobbies and Hyperfocus, a channel primarily about cross stitch and other needlework, but which sometimes will fall down a rabbit hole of whatever hyperfocus I'm into lately. Today is January 6th, 2024, and today we're going to go over my 2023 year in review kind of thing. I didn't do as much as a lot of other people would have done. I didn't have as many finishes as I usually do. This year was the first year that I went from being a monogamous stitcher to being a polygamous stitcher. I don't know what the term is, multi-stitcher? I don't know. And so I want to go over what I did, what whips I still have, what I've learned from this, and basically where I'm going forward. Today you'll notice me looking down. I'm trying to do a little bit more scripted so that I actually know what I'm talking about. But as usual, we have our now cold coffee, we have our cats, we have our stitching. Let's do this. Well, first thing we do is tarot. So this week I drew from Tarot of the Divine deck, which is a deck that I purchased from Indigo Chapters here in Canada. And I like this deck because it has a multitude of different cultures and mythologies that it pulls from. And today's card is the Eight of Cups reversed, which is based on the story of Moses, which is a Hebrew or biblical story. So the image of this is of Moses leaving behind the fulfillment, the riches, everything that he's been promised. And where did this card? Okay, so you can see him leaving behind the security and safety of all that he's known to wander off into the desert in the night. So this is a card that's primarily talking about withdrawal or seeking of truth or seeking of something. Now I've drawn it in the reversed order, which means upside down, and this is, the meaning is more of the fear of losing something, the fear of abandonment, sometimes even the discussion of potential depression. Now this kind of makes sense for right now. We're in the dark part of the year here in Canada. So even though we've passed the solstice and, you know, like the light has returned, you find that you don't really see it yet. So when I wake up in the morning to go walk the dog, it's always dark. And when I leave work, it's starting to get dark. Plus the fact that during this time of the year, usually the beginning of January up and through into February in Saskatchewan where I live, this is the coldest part of the year for us. So it's starting to get cold, it'll be dark, it'll be gloomy, it'll be snowy. So there's a lot of withdrawing in that time of the year. Also, those of us like myself who suffer from seasonal depression, from the lack of sunlight, the lack of vitamin D, find this time of the year very difficult. So this card speaks to that whole idea of loneliness, of withdrawal, fear of abandonment, fear of losing out that we see in this time of the year. So the other part of this is that it gives you the idea, like the information that you're doing this. The tarot doesn't so much tell the fortune as it gives small snippets that can help you connect the dots. That's the primary use that I use for tarot, is to connect the dots, not necessarily fortune telling and that kind of stuff. And so the positive here is this awakening of the awareness, and you can like start recognizing the symptoms of something like a seasonal depression and work out of it. Whereas if you're got your head in the sand, you're not going to notice. I only had 5 finishes for this year, and like most years I would have had, like, I usually did the fancy ladies, so bigger projects. I would have had 2 or 3 primary finishes in a year, and so for me that's not, having 5 is not unusual. But like if you've watched a lot of Flosstubes lately, you'll see people who have done like a lot of smalls, and they will have 40, 50, 70 finishes this year. Sorry, I'm gonna bump this a bit closer to myself here. Okay, but it is what it is, and let's I don't think I have anything fully finished. I have 2 that I'm intending to fully finish. I just haven't fully finished them. I've never done a full finish on my own in the past. Every time I got something finished, it was always professionally framed. So this year in 2024, I'm hoping to start trying to do flat folds and some of the smaller things, trying to do my own. Okay, so first thing that I finished last year was the Beaver by Cottage Garden Samplings. And I really like the Beaver because, I'll move this again, sorry. I really like the Beaver because I really like, this is what drew him to me, is these geometric designs on his tail and going up his back. And I love the image of the beaver, and I love fall. And so like beavers, again, are very Canadian. They're a symbol of Canada since, you know, the occupation of Canada was driven by hunting of beavers. So you see him, his little wooden cabin, probably a log cabin. Maybe the beaver cut down all those logs. I don't know. But I really love him. And this one I started in January and I finished in February 27th of 2023. This was the first time I had done more than one project at a time. This was the first full cross stitch that I did during that time. And you'll see I've also used this piece of linen for a second project, which we will look at later. But this is 40 count, and it's 1/1 with the called for. And I think in this one there was 1 or 2 colors. I think the brown, maybe the blackish color, were Weeks Dye Works, and I bought it as a kit. Well, not a kit, but I bought all the things together, and now I no longer use Weeks Dye Works, but I finished it up because I had already purchased it. So yeah, this is the Beaver, and we will see that piece of linen again. And the second thing I finished, I make sure this is the right way up, is the Lola Crow Garden of Oddies 2023 stitch along. So I finished this August 27th. And this is the first time I've done a mystery stitch along. This is on 36 Count Catnap by Roxy Floss Co. And I still have quite a bit on the side, so like I might cut this off and use this for this chunk here for another project this year, because I don't like to waste fabric. It's hard enough for me to get fabric so that I don't want to waste it if I have it. So that one I started, this is my very first mystery stitch along, and I really like the designs by Lola Crow. I really like I really like crows. Like, I like animals, so the beaver, I love the crows. I love the wrought iron kind of look of this design. For this one, I chose the botanist, so I can't remember his name, Samuel something, rather than Darwin. I thought a botanist would make more sense in a garden. I really like this thing. This is that death flower, I think. And then you have like a cute little Venus flytraps and his little bumblebee. I really like this project. And I decided, it was really last minute when I decided to do this one. The design for the outline, so like the whole garden frame thing, had been sent out probably, I don't know if it was a month or whatever before the stitch along was to start. And I saw a lot of people starting this frame with the crows and everything, and I was like, what is that design? And I waited and waited, and I signed up for it 1 week before the stitch along, before the first drop. So I was behind for, I think, the first 4 weeks until we had the bye week when we didn't have a design. That was the first time I actually caught up. And that one, I loved that one. And that was like, after doing that, I realized that I wanted to do a lot more stuff that had stitch along or community access or drops and things like that. So after that one, I did, where is it? Oh, another stitch along, which this one is our 2024 Garland Tree Blackwork stitch along. And I'm just gonna probably frame it. I'll tuck all this in and maybe glue something like a festive ribbon around the edge. This is pretty much what it's gonna look like. So this is by the Steady Thread. Ouch. And it's a blackwork. So what we got was the tree and the star and the pot. And then every day you'd have 1 or 2 drops and you'd stitch these baubles onto the tree. So the frame took me about 3 weeks. So it's all back stitch, it's all black work. So the frame took about 3 weeks to complete with the other things I was stitching. And then I was a little bit behind because I didn't take this with me when I went to Christmas. And so I had to finish this on December the 27th. But I find black work is a lot faster because, well, at least with these little things, because it only takes about 5-10 minutes to do one. I'll zoom in so you can see. Like you can see they're just back stitched. And I did them in various colors because I wanted my tree to be very colorful. I saw other people who did them all in like one color, but I really like them in different colors. Though I do think the gold ones kind of fade. It's really hard to see, and there's probably a reason why gold work was a different kind of work than black work. But I finished that one December 27th. This one was a free stitch that I got from To Trees and Tea off Instagram. And this came with a bunch of different designs. And this is the one I like. I just like the cleanness and the geometric design. This one took me 3 tries to get. And it was just this outside frame. Because I just, for some reason, I couldn't match it up. Like I'd be off by one, or this would be all wonky. So this is, you know, the Palestinian flags, Gaza, or Palestine. And then it says, I think it says Palestine. I think it says it this way. I really don't know how to read Arabic, although I am taking Arabic on Duolingo. I've added that to my many Duolingos. And then there's an example of To Trees, which I think looks like a whole bunch of little hearts all the way around. So this is on the 36 count white even weave, and it's 2/2 DMC. And I also have finished a To Trees tile thing for the Threads of Diaspora. I'll put a picture up here because I sent it back to the program. They received it yesterday, or showed that they received it yesterday. So that was my 4th finish, and that was done on white 11 count Ada with 3 different kinds of DMC. I guess the To Trees is usually done on with pearl cotton, number 8 pearl cotton, but for some reason I could not find number 8 pearl cotton locally anywhere, and so I chose to just use DMC. That was what, when I emailed them and I said, like, I can't find this anywhere and I don't want to be late, because you get 2 weeks from the time you get the pattern. I said, don't want to be late sending it back. Is there an alternate floss or an alternate thread that we can use? And she's like, just use DMC, use 2 DMC. So I used 2 threads of DMC over 1 Ada square. And hopefully you'll be able to see the picture of that. And then the last thing I finished, and I pulled this one out the very last minute. So this one I finished on December 31st. As I was in a chat group or online with Michelle Bendy Stitchies Twitch stream, I finished this one. This is my version of the Trick or Treat Fairy. And for this one, I changed her skin color. So I made her like a bluish purple color, kind of like a zombie. And then I changed all of this from like a garnet red kind of color, dark red color, to orange. And it actually glows in the dark. It says Trick or Treat. And because I changed that from red to orange, I changed the beads from red to orange. So I finished the beading just at the stroke of noon on December 31st. Now I had intended originally to do this year-end review on December 31st, but right after I finished that, I stood up and I got like a huge pain. Yeah, meow. In my chest, and like a I don't know if it's a gallbladder attack, whatever it was, I was down and out for the rest of the night. And so I chose not to try and force myself to do this, because I already find doing this YouTube thing kind of stressful. So didn't want to do it while I was not feeling well. Now I'm going to take a break. He's usually sitting on the floor sleeping while we do this.
And
Princess is usually on top of my stuff. Yeah. But this is Cheese Puff, and he's kind of cute and kind of not interested in being on YouTube.
And this
okay, and
is
that one,
Princess.
And that's Princess, and she's absolutely not happy. This is Cheese Puff's mom, Princess. She's my kitten.
She always lays on the mom's stuff.
She always lays on mom's stuff, and then mom has to pick off all the cat furs.
Yeah, on the bag. On
the bags, yeah. Okay, come on. Okay, mommy's finished filming. Can you go now? On my thing, because I've written down all of the different projects and what I've done and when I started them. Okay, so as I said, this is the first year since I've started stitching. And I started stitching when I was about 15 or 16, seriously. I'm gonna turn 50 this year, so that tells you how long I've been doing this. This is the first year where I haven't just started a project, and worked on one project, finished it, started another project. This is the first year where I have tried to do what everybody else seems to enjoy doing, and that is multiple works in progress over the year. And so let's start with the first ones that I started with, which was actually my first temperature style. Now, you've seen this all the way through since I've started, because this is my long-term project. So this is by Climbing Goat Designs UK, and it is the Galaxy version of their stitch along, their temperature stitch along. And I decided I was going to do it 1/1 on 40 count black linen. 40 count. I can barely see. You can see me like taking my glasses off and putting my glasses on. And the reason I keep taking them off is because I don't like the glare from the thing, annoys me. And so I get like all focused on that. So let's see. This is Carbon Copy by Dying for Cross Stitch. And I buy a lot of my linen from her or them. I'm not sure if it's who it is. Let's see, I'll put this behind here. I buy a lot of it because they have very reasonable shipping. It's about $10 shipping from Kansas, compared to a lot of places where it's like a piece of linen will cost $25 American, which is about almost $40 Canadian. And then on top of that, it'll be another 15, like almost double, just to order a piece of linen. And there isn't anywhere here where I can buy like white linen or white fabric and just dye it myself. So I've been buying a lot from Dying for Cross Stitch. So you'll see a few places I have Dying for Cross Stitch. And this is done 1/1 again, all DMC. And I don't think I brought them down, but it's 42 different colors of DMC. And my range this year was from -40 Celsius to +35 Celsius. And we seem to be having a bit of a, what do you call it, El Nino event this year. And so because of the El Nino, we don't seem to be having the low temperatures. Like we haven't haven't really gotten into like -20, -30. You'll see the coldest was probably in, this is January, February, March. The coldest was in March. That dark purple is our coldest. That's around -35. But yeah, I really love doing this. I love the outer space kind of theme. I love anything circular in pattern. I love spirals. And so I really enjoyed doing this, and I'm actually hoping I should just buy it. I keep talking about it. I want to do 2024 in one of the Clam and Goat design temperatures. I want to do the moons, the moon phases. I tend to want to do the high and low because I like to see the variation between the highest high and the low for the day. And so I'm still debating it, but I don't want to do it on such a dark fabric. It's very, very hard for me to see. And so especially on 40 count, it's a high count, it's a dark fabric. The only thing I have left, this is November. I finished November. I printed off December's temperatures yesterday. So I'm going to start and I'll finish that, and then I'll put in like the coordinates for Saskatoon and Saskatoon or some design here. And then I'll put in all the glow-in-the-dark beads. I bought Mill Hill glow-in-the-dark beads. They look sparkly silver until you turn off the lights, and then they glow. And that one should be done hopefully by the end of next month. By the end of January. That's my fervent hope, is that this is done by the end of January with all the beads and everything. I love it. I do not love 40 count black linen. I just don't. And I have quite a bit of it. So if I wanted to, I probably could do 2024 on this piece. I don't know if I want to torture myself that much. I might want to torture myself that much because I, again, don't want to waste the fabric. But that's the first one I started in 2023. And the second thing I started in 2023 was black work. This is the first year that I've actually done black work. I've always kind of been fascinated by black work. I mean, I'll show you up close some of the designs. This is a free stitch along by the Steady Thread, and it is 49 different designs that came out once a week for 49 weeks. I have 10 left, so I've gotten up to about 39. I have 10 of them left to do, and they take about 5 minutes. They don't take very long. I just kind of got distracted by other things, but I really love her designs. I really love that this was a free stitch along, so it was a good introduction to the process of doing black work. And I have a friend who's going to say, but it's not black work, because it's not black, because he's very literal and he likes to tell me these things. But I've also decided that potentially for 2024 I want to do another round black work one, the tree, and it's the Tree of Life. I've seen Imogen X Stitch do it, and I love the way that they did it. And so I'm kind of leaning towards doing that botanical tree with the same Bradley's balloons that they used, and maybe like dark brown for the trunk of the tree. I haven't yet pulled the trigger on that one, but I'm really close. So this is another one that should be done by the end of January, because all I have to do is sit down and do. And if I do one a day, it'll take me 2 weeks to do about. And, you know, I love it, but I just got distracted. because shiny and new. Then I started doing this one, and it says Kidmil Falche, which is 100,000 welcomes in Gaeilge. As I mentioned before, one of my other hyper focuses is learning languages, and Gaeilge is the first of the things that I started learning in Duolingo. Most of my life I've been kind of wanting to go to Ireland and see where my ancestors came from, which apparently is mostly England, but Ireland and Wales too. And so I've had a hyper focus on Gaeilge. So Gaeilge, Gaelic, Cymru. I'm learning all of those three, as well as now I've picked up Spanish because one of my coworkers is from Mexico and I want to try talking to her in Spanish. And French because my kids are in French immersion and I want to keep up my French as a Canadian, as well as now picking up Arabic to kind of understand a little bit more of Arabic. Like, there's a lot of Arabic speakers in the world. But that's just a tangent to say, I had this pattern from like the early 90s. It came in a cross-stitch magazine and I always wanted to do it and I just never did. And I started it 1/1 on this 36 count white even weave, and I think I'm going to restart this because I still love the pattern. I still want to put up a Kidmil Falche over my doorway when you come into my house, but I don't like I don't like trying to do this knot work design. I don't like trying to do that over one. So I think I'm gonna maybe cut out the Kidmil Falche, maybe frame this little piece in a tiny frame, and then restart the design on something a little bit bigger, because I'm all for restarting things. I restart things a lot. So, okay, wait, okay, and then we have, I do not know which way this goes. I think it goes this way. It's really hard to tell at this point, but this is the Crystal Mermaid Aquabella by Bella Filipina Designs. This, again, is Dying for Cross Stitch. It's a 32 count linen, and it's called Treasure, and it's Dark Treasure, and it is an opalescent. I don't think you can really see, but it is sparkly. So this is the first time I've stitched on a sparkly design, and this is also the first time I used a nurge hoop. And I really like the nurge hoops because they hold things nice and tight, and they're lighter and easier to hold than the Q-snap. But I did this, I started on Purple Haze, also by Dying for Cross Stitch, and I love the purple, but it just did not go with the colors of the flosses for this one. So I ordered this and restarted, and hopefully I'll find something to do with that Purple Haze because I really like it. It's a light purple all the way down to dark purple ombre, and yeah, this is my first Bella Filipina Designs, and I would really like to do quite a few more of his. He's got some really nice designs. So hopefully I will get a little bit more done on this. I have started doing Whipgo this year. I've never done Whipgo before. And Aquabella is on my Bigs Whipgo quite a few times because I want to get some of it done. What else did I do? Oh, here's another one that I really enjoyed, and I don't know why I haven't done more of it. But when I first got back into cross-stitching in 2020, one of the first things I did was, of course, start a long dog because it was free. And I had the fabric and I had a crap ton of 3824. They're bright blues. So I decided I was going to do Pandemic because it was free. It was a free design. And then after I was done, I wanted to do one in pinks with grays. So I got this, and this is Nocturne by Picture This Plus. Again, 40 count, 1/1, all DMC. So I've used, I think, 601, 602, and 603 with 3371, dark brown, so chocolate brown. And I'm doing it similar to how I did my Pandemic, which is the designs, the motifs are all in 3 different shades of a similar color. So the first one was in shades of blues. I'm just going to grab them. I'll show you which blues. So originally, my long dog was done in these blues. So I have 3846, 3844, and 3842, I think it is. I don't have any more of the lightest blue left. So these were, they kind of wash out, but these were the 2 primarily. I don't think I have any of the lightest one left. No. But I did the Pandemic in these 2 blues. So then I thought with a gray, the accent color was gray. So 2 blues and accent color in gray. So then I decided I was going to do this. I can't remember which way it goes. I think it goes this way. So this one I wanted to do in pinks, bright pinks, and then the accent color is chocolate brown. So all the animals on there will be brown colored. And all the motifs will be bright pink, medium pink, and light pink on this Nocturne. And I like doing it that way just because I like that the little animals, the bunnies, pop. Like they really pop when they're different accent color. With the blues, the accent color was dark gray, and it was done on a light blue 36 count linen. So I want that to be a companion piece. I don't know why I haven't been working on it. Like, I really don't have a problem seeing 30 or 40 count fabric with my magnifier. It's just, for some reason, it hasn't called to me. I've got to put it on my Whip Go. I think I'll probably put that one on a few times too, just so that I have it. Because I really, really enjoy doing the long dogs, but I get my brain into mermaids and fantasy and things like that. If I don't make myself do it, I'll forget about it. And it would be a shame because I really love that piece. And the next one I started was Mr. Little Brown Bat. Again, this is the other side of our 40 count Oaken. And I've been working on him recently. I finally finished his wings. I just have to fill in the gray on the wings. I have to put sort of the ecru on his cheeks. Got his little houses done. It's very cute. I love this. I love, again, animals, bats. I love that there's like little moons in here, leaves, trees. It's autumn themed. I think he looks really good with his little beaver friend. And he will go with my little foxy friend, which you saw last time when, or the last time you saw him was when my daughter was pretending she had stitched him in one day. And I'm trying to get a hold of the reindeer, and I want to put the reindeer one right here. So like my winter ones and my fall ones, they're all done on 40 count. This one is J, 40 count J. And I would like this as a companion piece. I want to do all 4 of them together. So I gotta get a hold of the reindeer, because every time I go to buy it from 123 Stitch, it seems to be out of stock. Not much I can do about that. Then came my other restart. So around August, I started Edse Witch on this, I don't know what it is. I had this in my stash from the early 90s, early thousands, when my son was born. And it's, I don't know, 32 count? I don't know. It's very, very, you can see, very, very see-through. It's very, very loose weave. And I didn't enjoy stitching on it. So I got about that far. And I was like, no, I hate this. And I saw that Kitschy Whips and L.E.Z. had done the Edse Witch, and they had done it on a purple. So there was a member of the Bendy Stitchy Discord server, and she was selling some of her Be-Stitch Me fabrics. And she had this one, and I thought, okay, well, they're doing it on purple. I think I'll try it on purple. So I restarted it, and I did about 3 days. This is 3 days worth of work. And I can't for the life of me, and I did not put it into Notion, I can't for the life of me remember what this is, what the name of this is. I think it's Mystic. I can't remember. I have to go through my YouTube, or my YouTube, and see if I had said when it still had the tag on it, what it was called. But this is like 3 days worth of stitching, and I don't know why I haven't gotten back to it. It's in my pile of whips, and I just don't get to it because I forget that it's there. And I really like it. I love Mirabilias. I love Nora Corbett's, and I really want to finish this one, and I want to start another big lady. So I think this is a 36 count. It's an even weave. It's not linen, and it's much tighter weave. So I really like this. I really like the Edse Witch. I'll put a picture of what she looks like, because it's really hard to tell what things are going to look like if I don't put them up. But I think the purple works really well with this because it contrasts the green. The green on green, it looked nice, but I hated stitching on it. And if you hate stitching on something, you gotta stop. Unless you're gonna give it away to somebody or you've been commissioned, there's really no reason to keep it. And then we have my other mermaids. So after I bought Aquabella and after I finished the Garden of Oddies, there was an announcement by Fiberlicious Yummy Fiber Co's and Bella Filipina that they were going to do a stitch along. And mermaids, and I love mermaids, and so I joined. And I've gotten 4 of them done. I need to next order all of the Krynic and all of the beads, which is a pretty penny coming from the United States. I can't get them locally. So I've done, this is spring. I've got her all done, ready for beading and Krynics. And then summer, which again, ready for beading and Krynic. Autumn, completed just at the end of December. Eek. And then my teeny weeny start that I just did last night on winter. So I don't know if I'm going to put the words in, but I like that. This is 32 count Singing in the Rain by Fiberlicious Yummy Fibers Co. And I did do this tiny little bit of, I'm running out of this, we need 2 spools of this. I'm thinking I'm going to need 3. This is number 18, Krynic. And I really want to get this one done. This one was probably one that I'll probably get framed because they're so fancy. So there's all of my mermaids and the mermaid's butt. And then the last work in progress that I have going on is my conversion for the second most magnificent Ink Circles Round Robin. And this was started by Julicious. The first most magnificent Ink Circles Round Robin was a Bendy Stitchy brainchild. And she said, well, if any of you want to like do another one, and Julicious, they decided that they were going to do it and organize it and everything, because thank God, because I couldn't remember how to do something like that. So originally this one, like this is the original DMC. It's called For, and so is The Path. But originally this was like a light pink, and this was like a kind of a red purple. I don't know. It's not mauve. It's not, I don't know what you'd call it. Yeah, like I just don't have a name for it. So I changed this to a darker purple, brighter purple, and then a teal. Now I'm going to finish this, like I've taken the pattern and I've drawn lines. I don't know if that's what I was supposed to do, but that's what I did. That's how I decided what part I was going to do, and then soon we're going to get who I'm going to be sending it to. So I have Plexicci, Megan, and Trina, and Zav Stitches, which is Rob, and the 4 of us are doing it. So I'm going to finish this the end of March. I will send it to whomever I'm sending it to, and it'll be up to them whether they want to do it like this, so like purple and blue, or if they want to like reverse it or put another brighter color in. So they'll do like one of the other quadrants, and then it'll go around, and then by the end of next year, by the end of December this year, it'll be sent back. Maybe not by, I probably won't get it back by December, but that's the idea, is that we each do a quarter on each of them. I've seen what Megan is doing, and it's monochromatic Reflections of Ireland, which is another one that I really wanted to do, so at least I get to do a quarter of it. So that's this one, and I started this on December 22nd because for Christmas this year we went to Edmonton to my brother's, and I needed something that was smaller and that could fit in a small bag that didn't have too many colors, and this one only has 5 colors. Interestingly enough, I forgot to bring a needle, and so on the way to Edmonton we had to stop in Lloydminster at the Michaels on the 22nd and pick up a package of 28 needles because I forgot them. So those are all my whips right now, including the ones that I might restart or UFO. Sorry, I'm forward because there's a cat who has jumped up right behind me, making it very, very fun for me to sit. So the next section would be community. Now for community projects, I have joined the D20 Stitches 2024 Pride Stitch Along. I received the pattern for January and I haven't stitched it yet. It's on Keith Harding. And interestingly enough, I got an email from my 11-year-old's teacher saying she didn't finish one of her art projects. And I opened the thing. And interestingly enough, coincidentally enough, the project that she has to do is also a Keith Harding inspired poster. So I'm sharing this information with my 11-year-old to help her be inspired, hopefully today, tomorrow, before her before Monday when she has to hand this in, that she will do her Keith Harding inspired piece. So I tried to follow along last year. I was really good last year with the 2023 learning bit. I was not good at the stitching bit and sometimes the action bit. I got some of the actions but not all of them, and I got easily overwhelmed and I just stopped. So this year I paid the $30. I'm getting the prompts, I'm printing them off, I'm gonna do them because it's important. The second community thing, as I've already mentioned, is the second most magnificent ink circles round robin, which I'm doing with Megan, Trina, and Rob, my group. And I really like this. I've never done an ink circles before. And the third is the kitted up swap. So I didn't have any of the stuff in my stash. The whole idea, I think, was to get rid of stash, but I didn't have anything. So I got the called for. I'm not going to show you the pattern. I don't think the person that I'm sending it to has ever heard of me, but I doubt she, yeah, I think it was a she. I got all the called for their pattern and the preferred size and type of linen that they use. I also don't own any needle minders, so I probably won't be sending a needle minder because I don't have any. I don't have access to them. These are all sampler threads or gentle arts. Yeah. So these are the called for colors. This is a similar called for fabric. This is a 32 count linen, and I have everything ready to go. I'm just gonna package it up in the next week or so and send it off. The last stitch along community thing that I've been wanting to join is the modern folk embroidery with the hell Jacob Sal, and that is the No Time Like the Present, and I've got my colors picked out. I'm doing it in a green and a dark purple, and I realized that after I picked out the colors that the fabric that I was going to use, which was a coral, it was called Coral, again by Dying for Cross Stitch, even weave, it didn't work. So I went on the internet and I ordered a more neutral color from Dying for Cross Stitch. So I'm waiting for that to come, and then I can start. It's either that or I use these because I have probably 20 of each. So if anyone has any desire to have 20 of 3846 or 3844, hit me up, because I have a whole bag of them. I overestimated how many skeins I was going to need for a long dog, and I don't want to do another long dog in those colors because I want them in all different colors. So like I said, plans for this year are always up in the air. I'm always up in the air. I'm going to do the ink circles. I'm going to do the Pride Sal. I want to finish off some of the whips that I have. I want to restart some of them. I also today bought 3 new patterns from Needlelock Design. So I want to do at least the Friend Tarot because it's a frog and I love frogs. This year I'm trying to do Whip Go. So I've decided to do 2 Whip Go boards, 1 smalls and 1 bigger projects. And I'm going to try and do at least 1 call every month. I probably won't be able to do both calls on both boards every month. The smalls are all the smalls and freebies. I struggle with doing smalls because I tend to be a big project stitcher, but part of this year is expanding my horizons and learning more, taking on challenges, just trying new things. And so I want to try doing a few smalls. I want to try framing some. I have a few little frames, like tiny little frames. I want to try do something small that I can frame and put up. I want to put up my wall because I've been saying I want to do that for a while. Like, it's bare and I have my shelves, I have my board. I want to put them up, but I don't know how to do it. I also need to start sewing some of my project bags, and I have plans. I have plans all over the place. Am I going to do them? Probably not. I get distracted, something shiny comes along, and I don't remember what I've said I'm going to do, and then I just do whatever I feel like doing, and I'm going to probably continue doing it that way. I do want to try doing more smalls because I have 100 patterns in my Notion that I haven't even started, and I'd like to do a few of them. So retrospective, what did I learn? So I went from being a monogamous stitcher where I would primarily do mirabilias to branching out and trying a whole bunch of new stuff. And I learned that I need to like have something that prompts me to do things, because otherwise I will just get stuck on a project and just go back to monogamous stitching, and I will keep focusing on ones that I'm not really thrilled on just to get them done. And like, I like having the option. I like being able to like reach into my thing, my project bucket, and bring out a new project or start something new. I like not being trapped in the whole, this is the only project I have, this is the only fabric I have to do this. So I just gotta find a way to remind myself of what I have going on. And I don't really care how many I have. I'm not trying to limit, I'm not trying to start 50 for 50 or anything like that. I don't think I can do 50 for 50. Good on you for anyone who can, but I can't start 50 new projects. I don't have the space. I don't have the linen. I'm not an Ada stitcher. I just don't usually like the feeling of Ada. So I learned how to do a lot of editing, getting out there, getting to be more of a community. I wish I had been able to have this kind of access when I was younger, because I think I would have been a lot better at it when I was younger. Now I'm just a weird, awkward old lady. As I mentioned several times before, this year I will be turning 50. Unfortunately, originally when I first started this channel, I was very excited and very happy because my mother had booked a cruise for her and I. Danny! Anyway, my mother had booked a cruise for her and I to go and do a 2-week excursion to Ireland. And as I've mentioned earlier in the video, I've always wanted to go to Ireland. I've always wanted to go to Europe. And I was really, really excited. And I'm like, I know I shouldn't have been, because every time we've done this and we've started, something's come up and it's gotten cancelled. And yeah, it did it again. My mother was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma in the end of November. And even before that, she had been talking, like right after we booked the trip, she was already talking about canceling it. And this happens all the time. Like, we'll plan something and then it'll just get canceled. And I kind of got my hopes up this year, and it's kind of disappointing. It's not for no reason, but it is disappointing that we can't go. And now I don't know if I'll ever get to go, because I don't have the money to do it myself. Otherwise, it would have just been me and my older daughter, and we would have gone. I would have paid for it and we would have gone. But life just has a way of getting in the way. And I know now that June wouldn't have been a good month for other reasons, because of things that are going to be happening at work. And I mean, she's got to focus on her chemotherapy, although she's apparently still going on a cruise with her boyfriend in February or March, and one in October. So not sure what's going on there. And so instead of going on my bucket list trip this year, I'm back to saving up for money to go, hopefully, eventually someday. And my older daughter Paige and I are going to head off to St. John's, Newfoundland in February, which might be a bad time to go, but it was the cheapest. We've booked the flights with Air Miles, and we're gonna go the very beginning of February and hope we don't get snowed in. It's ice storm season, but it's winter in Canada, and it's not like snow is going to stop us. Ice might, but not snow. So instead of getting to go on my bucket list trip, I'm going to be going to St. John's. Maybe I'll at least see the ocean. I hear the ocean is near St. John's. And I'm still, as far as I know at this point, still getting to go to Stitch North the week after my birthday. So there is that. Not much else to say about that. What else can I say about it? Like, that's just life. Life happens and things get canceled all the time. So hopefully I'll be able to save up enough money that we can go, or I can take the kids to Disney. Not super thrilled about going to the States right now. I'm kind of concerned with what's going on, what might happen during this election. So there's no way I'd have that much money by the end of the year anyway. So hopefully by the time I have enough money to take the younger kids to Disney World, whatever is going to happen during the 2024 election has happened. So the only other thing is I like I said, bought 3 designs from Need a Lot. Last time I filmed, I had bought 3 from Owl Forest. So I've got a lot of designs to stitch. I just need linen. And now that I'm not going on my European trip anymore, I probably have a little bit more money I can spend on things at Stitch North. Hopefully, I haven't met any of these people in person, so I'm a little worried about that. And hopefully I fit in. I'm a little weird, awkward. So I don't know how that's going to shake out. But I've been to Toronto, so Brampton's near Toronto. Not very far. I'm not sure how I'm going to get from Toronto to Brampton. Maybe there's a train. I guess I'll find out when I get closer. I haven't booked the flights yet because I hear if you book closer to the trip, it's a little cheaper. And what else did I learn this year? I need something to prompt me to stitch more than one thing. I learned that Notion is very helpful in keeping track of things, but only if you put the stuff into it. I need to learn how to do a little bit more Notion programming. It's completely different than anything I know. So I've been starting to kind of watch a few tutorials and look at the formulas and go through what Stitching a Tea has shared with us on how to update things and how to do stuff, and kind of figuring out some of the programming language. I'll watch more tutorials. I might find that is really useful in tracking things, but also with my work. And also my other thing is I want to figure out how to use this. Again, I got this for 10 years at my company, and my husband bought me the pen thing. And my intention is to learn how to do digital planning. So that, oops, drop the pen. Kitty. And right now I do all my planning, paper planning. So usually as I go through the day, I put down all the tasks that I've worked on, all the things I need to do during the day, goals, tasks that need to be done. I do quarterly. I have all my, I did not put down the card for today, but this is where I track my tarot cards every day. It's my quarterly planning. Oops. Month, nothing happening. Monthly planning, weekly planning, and then thoughts. So that's what I usually use, and I've heard that you can do it on iPad. So I'm hoping to do that, and I can either use Notion or GoodNotes. I can handwrite and it'll translate it. It's all good. So that's, sorry, pick up the pen. That's kind of my plans and hopes for this year. Little more smalls, ways to remember to do things. Remember to put things in Notion. Learn more about Notion. Start all the things. Stitch north. Cat hairs. And just keep going. Just keep moving forward. And with that, I'm gonna say goodbye, and I'll see you next time. Please like, subscribe, do all the things. I'd like to get this channel a little bit more out there. I'd like to be a little bit more. I'd like to be more of the community. And so if you could please like, subscribe, comment, do all the things, that would really help me to get my name out there and be more part of the thing. And until then, let's go. Talk to you later. Bye.